Hello and welcome to my craft room. Today we're going to work on a traveler's notebook. And this kit is the Berry Cardinal kit by Wonders by Wink on Etsy. And I chose this olive green something color of cardstock. I first saw this done last year and it was Melina from Me Scrappy Crafter. I think that's correct. And she did one. She used a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock. Well, I didn't have one, so I figured out how to do one with two 8.5 by 11 pieces of cardstock. So that's what we're going to do. I also chose particular pages from the Berry Cardinal kit to do the cover with, and I did a page of her tags to do my pockets with. So let me get the basis of the traveler's notebook here done, and we'll get to it. Isn't that pretty? Cardinals are our state bird here, so they are very close to our heart. All right, first you're going to take your two 8.5 by 11s, and you're going to cut 1 inch off of the short side. And you're going to keep those pieces because you're going to use that on your outside for your closure. Now what we want to do is we're going to take and overlap. I made 2 little notches. Of course you can't see it, but at 4 3/4 we are going to overlap. Now what you want to do is I'm right-handed, so I'm going from the left side to be my opening, and this is going to be a not retractable, a removable a removable signature. So what we want to do is have our opening here, and we're going to glue a U-shaped just like that on the one side here. The best side to do it is this one right here. All we got to do is make another mark so we know how far across to do our glue line. There we go. And you can do this with score tape if you would prefer, and it works just as good, and it might be even easier because, you know, I'm squiggly. I don't know if it would be as strong. That's the only thing, because this is going to have some wear and tear. You're going to be maybe taking the signature in and out. The reason for it to be removable is so if you need to make you a new one, or have your journal making person make you another one to go in it. All right, let's get this done. And the major part will be done once we get this part here glued. There's not too much to it. All right, and then right there. And then make sure your top and bottom are lined up. And we're good to go. Now you might want to burnish with your bone folder to get that down nice and tight. It really does make a difference. And you see you squeeze out a little bit more of the glue, but it also makes the glue adhere to your paper. And I'm going to re-rub that right there. Okay. I'm not going to be too rough with it until it dries really nice. But see on the back, you may want to wipe a little bit of your glue off, but this is going to be covered. The only thing you're really going to see is the outside edge. We want to have a little bit of that, whatever greenness is, to be showing. And I'm going to trim off that little bit right there. There we go. Now, our next step is, and at this point, it's totally reversible. You can go either way. But our next step is to crease it at 3.5 on this side, and then 3.5 on that side. Let's get it turned around right, and I'm going to go over and I'm going to score it 3.5 either side. All right, I got that done, and you can see it just clears where your pocket is for your removable signature. Also, we're going to go in here and we're going to corner round. I like a nice rounded corner on my traveler's notebooks. I did about 4 of them when I saw Melina making hers, and that can be found in my Instagram account, and that's linked down into my description box down near the bottom in case anybody would like to scope through there. I have a whole bunch of crafts and stuff I put on there before I ever got into video. And I wanted to mention, I hope everybody is doing well today, and I thank you very much for coming to visit and see what I'm getting up to. Always getting up to something. All right, let's go ahead and fold this just so we know where it's at. And then we're going to pick our piece to go on the front. Now, whichever way you want to fold the front is up to you. And this is actually a little wider than a regular traveler's notebook. This is actually 5, what is it? Is it 5.5 wide? Yes, it's about 5.5 wide. It's just shy of that. Maybe 5 3/8. I think a true traveler's notebook is about 4.5. So we're cheating a little bit. So anyhow, that'll give us a bigger area for our view of our cardinal. All right, so let's see. I'm going to have more of him showing, or more of the green showing than I cared for, so we're going to have to do some Frankenstein in here. Okay, you're not seeing double. I had to print 2. When I did this before, I used a 12 by 12 piece of paper, and it was like non-directional and that kind of thing. So it's stretched from here to there, but this one won't. So I believe I can do this and at least get that bottom part attached. Oh, you couldn't see that, I'm sorry. But yeah, I just want to leave a small 1/4 inch, 1/8 of an inch border. So I think that will work for me. Okay, so let's get our corner rounded here. There we go. And we're going to start putting this down. And then we'll come back in and add our other layer. So I think the best way to do it is just to get in here and start gluing. And I'm going to actually glue this instead of the paper. I could get in here and do some glue stick, which would probably go a little faster. I don't want to go all the way up. Okay. I just want to go about 1/4 of an inch up. There we go. All the way around. Okay, I got our front done here. I wrapped it around. I got it over there. Now, it's too short to be here, but that's all right, because I would like to have this big cardinal on this wing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this off. And I don't want to trim it flush. I want to make sure I leave enough to wrap it around. And I'm also going into the crease as well with this wraparound with a little bit of glue. All right. Of course, yet another thing that I didn't do ahead of time and pre-plan to see how it was going to work out. This is raw and uncut. All right. Now, get that down smooth. We're going to get this pretty cardinal and stick him right here like this. And we'll go right up to the edge. And then we won't have to worry about a variation there. I think I'm going to use the ruler trick and rip off. Make sure I've got about 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to no, wait a minute. I'm going to lose some of my bird. let me rethink this. Let me go right here and rip this right at his beak. This is good stuff for collaging, so don't throw that away. Now we're going to figure out where we want to be here on the ripping, the edge. We're going to lose a little bit of tail and a little bit of wing, but I think we're going to be fine. Let's just take that off right there. And we are going to glue this down. I'm going to go to the paper this time, though it gets a little floppy once you get a lot of the glue on there. But this piece ought to go pretty fast. And you get enough on there, you can push it around underneath too, if it's still wet, that is. Sometimes you don't move fast enough, it dries on you. That's what it was doing to me earlier. Well, I'm hoping this one will come out right before I go to have my Thanksgiving meal. This should come out Wednesday. And I really hope everybody has safe travels and great food and great family. I forgot to cut this corner. Oh, so yes, just have a great holiday. It's always good to get together with the family and enjoy yourselves. Some of them you don't know if you'll see them next year. So appreciate the time you have with them. I went a little over there, so let's see about us trimming that fray off. Okay, I think we're good. Get that off of there. And if you didn't see my previous video, I have decided to try to use a black background to make sure my color doesn't go wacky. Because it was doing some weird fluctuations and stuff. So, oops, I was trying to make sure it didn't do that. I forgot to go into airplane mode. I always forget that. I don't know why that's so hard for me to just determine to do that. All right. Now, in some cases, see how this is working here? You may want to cut your pieces. Look, it's going right through his eyeball. Well, you can't see that. To see how this is buckling up here, you may want to think about doing separate pieces instead of one whole piece. But I'm going to leave it like this because I need it to bend. And if I had gone like that and went across, it'd be hard to bring it back in. But yeah, there's a fix to that. Just do separate panels. But you could butt them right up against each other. Okay, we're going through here with this one. We're going in here and ripping our page. I'm trying to decide where I need to rip. Maybe right, oops, there, and I went and moved it. Okay, let's go in here and rip. All right. Commit. my friend Zach. Actually, this is going to be his Christmas. Anyhow, we were driving over in West Virginia, and I told him, he was turning, and then he decided not to. He wasn't sure what the driver in front of us was doing. I said, you got to commit. You got to commit. Go across that lane. Oh, it's funny. Oh, but back to Zach. He lost he's lost both of his grandparents. But his grandmother passed first, and every time they saw a cardinal, they thought it was a sign from her. And it was so odd how often they would see cardinals. And it was usually at the time they were thinking of her, and it was very interesting. I think there is something uh, in the Bible or something about cardinals and your loved ones. A lot of people see them. Okay. Oops. That one little red spot ain't working out right, but the rest of it is. Okay. Let me make sure I get all that down. I'm probably going to come back over this with a pocket of some sort. So that crazy spot will be gone. And I think I'm going to use it right there to go in this corner. Okay, now we're in here covering the inside. And I decided to do it in panels, like I suggested on the front, just so you wouldn't have that crease showing so bad. So I've got this piece, and I think I'm going to put it over here. This part you're not really going to see because the signature is going to cover it. And then over here, and then I've got to do something with my base, but a lot of that may be covered with pockets. I think I'm going in here sideways with this one because it's not really got a direction that I can tell. So I'm going to just take advantage of that and do it like this. And I'm going to cheat and come up under here and see where I need to be with my ribbon. I think that might be it right there. Let's try it. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. All right. Then we're coming across at the base. There we go. Then we got around the corners. We're almost done with this cover. Okay, now we're done. We've got all of that covered on the inside. We got all of our outside covered. All we have to do is come in now and do pockets and our signature. Okay, I'm working on my policy closure. So I'm in here cutting and rounding, not with the big round one, the next one down, the 7mm. And that's the one I'm using on the policy closure. And I'm just going in and rounding off each corner. I may have to go in and trim a little bit because it's such a small piece. And oh, like that one. It really cut into that one. Let's see how it looks. I may have to go in and do another one of those. I think it's fine. It's going to be covered with another circle anyway, so I think we're good. Let me get this one on here, and I'll show you what I mean by another circle. First time I did these, I used eyelets or grommets. No, it was grommets. Oh my goodness. I had to go in the basement and use the floor to pound those things. All right, we are going to use this 3/4 inch circle. Oh Come on. This is as old as the hills. Let's see, is that big enough? It might not be big enough. No, it's not. It is not. We got to go for another one. Okay, we're going for the 1 inch this time. And my strip is just big enough. And we're going to do more than one. We're going to do several because we want this to be strong. Plus, we have to double it up to hold our string. And I'll show you how I usually do it. We're going to do this with what do you call it? Brads. That word would not come to my mind. I believe we need 6 of these. I think that's how many I used before. And you can see we're really going through this piece of 1 inch that was left over. So you use up just about all of your little strip that was left over. Let me get my thing cleaned out there, and I need one more. Oh, is it bigger on this end? If not, we'll make this the center one. You can always do that too. If one of your pieces is a little wonky, it can always be the center. Like, see, there's a, a straight edge on both of those. Okay, so let's get in here and glue 2 of these together. Like that. I haven't been inking, but you can get in here and ink your edges. I kind of don't think I need to. I believe it's pretty just as it is. I did ink that outside fold over though. There was kind of weird looking. I thought that helped it a little bit. Okay. I'm thinking we may need more than, we're going to do 3, and I'm going to have to punch out one more. It needs to be strong enough. Yep, that's what I need right there. That's going to be our top piece, and then we're going to have one on the bottom here. Okay, now I'll punch out my extra piece and we will be ready to go. Oh, okay, this is our bottom piece. Go to this. I think it's a little bigger over here. Oh, there we go. Now we need to punch us a hole for our, what did I do with it? Oh, for our brad. Take my crocodile here, and I'm going to hold it. I don't know which size I need, so I'm going to just go for the small one. And I'm eyeballing the center. Wasn't too bad. Okay. I actually may get in here and do something with this edge, but I'm not sure what. Ow. Ooh, I think I pinched my finger on that one. Okay. Now, I did pinch my finger, and I didn't squeeze that all the way. There we go. Now we're going to pick our brad. I think I'll go with gold. Go with the gold. All right, I have silver. Gold is better. And I got a whole slew of these gold ones at Walmart. Maybe 100. I don't know how many was in that container. It was a ton in there. Okay. Oh, I forgot to go through the middle of this thing. Oopsie. Okay. Go dead center of this as well. Yep. And here. Yep. And now our Brad is going through this, and we're going to glue it just so we don't have any trouble. I might not have had to do this little bottom circle, but I'm going to do it the way I usually do it. Okay. And what we're wanting it to do is to stick onto our piece here on the bottom. And then this can open like that. And I'll take my bone folder and mash it usually. But what we want is to have that little bit right there. That's what your string is going around to do your policy closure. I don't know if you've ever done a policy closure, but they're pretty neat. I'm fascinated with them. That's where it looks like the little manila folder that you'll get in the offices, and they usually have all kinds of stuff in them. office related things. Okay, there. Now, get all our little pieces and crumbs off of here. Now this is going to go on the front. Not sure which one is my front. I kind of like both, but it's going to go like this. It'll be side by side, just like that. And you'll tie it closed or open. So we're going to glue that baby down onto the front. Then onto the signature. Okay, so what I did, I gathered up maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 7 pages, and I had this extra one, so I thought that was cute. Plus, I got a piece of cardstock, and that is going to be my cover. So I'm going to get this arranged a little better, and I'm going to go over here and sew down this edge, and I'll be right back. Okay, I didn't like that inside that was white for the front, so I covered it with that extra piece of paper. So I've only got like half of a piece of paper left from the 4 that I'd printed originally. So I love when I can go through everything. This part here I wasn't worried about because that's going into the removable spine part. You won't see that part at all. So let me get to sewing this. I've got everything cut down. I've got them arranged. These are all papers that I dyed last summer or so. And let me get this done. Okay, I have my signature done. And I did have to cut this off back here a little bit. So be aware of that. Because of the glue line you've left in here, you don't have as much space as you would on the front part of that. So that's all completed. I have this one piece at the back. I still need to glue a line there and there. So I had a little tuck in there in case you wanted to put anything in it. Now inside here, my friend sent me these embossed pieces. Pine trees, pine bows, I guess is what you call them. And then this is a cathedral window imprint. And they had a white pith on the outside edges. So I took my Copic marker, and it's what is the color? Grayish olive is the color. And it went perfect with this color here. It covered it right up. So what we're going to do is I'm going to glue my pockets down in a U-glue. And then I'm going to glue my birds on top. Okay, the great reveal. Here we go. It's all done. I'm leaving all this pretty on the outside. I'm not going to mar it up with anything because you got to write with it being flat. Now here's our 2 policy closures. I just tied a piece of string on underneath of this one, on between the 3 on top and that one little one below. And then you open it, and here is our big signature. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything with this or not. I may take one of those cards behind and use it. Now, I don't have anything left. I backed these with that little piece of paper that I still had. And these go in here. I've rounded corners where I could. And you can see the pretty cardinal looks. I'm not sure about this cardinal. He looks odd. And this here is a woodpecker. So I'm not sure if they meant that to be a cardinal or what. So here, of course, is our signature with all the different pages. I had to get in here and trim these pages so they were flush or just past this cover because I didn't want them to stick out. Now there's our little tuck. He could put a little receipt or something in there, a little tag, whatever. Now one of these, I may go ahead and see, I've got the pretty cardinals there with the grapes. And that was the name of her kit, Berry Cardinal. I may put one of these on the front up here and actually make it like a tuck. So I'm going to hold that one out and I'm going to put that one there. But the thing is, it's pretty fat. It's pretty thick. So it can't take much more. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'll have all the dimensions in the description box below. And I really appreciate you coming to see me today, and have a great Thanksgiving.